How's everybody doing? Today's another pensive day. Had to find a place to go to because, excuse me with the toothpick, because it's it gets, the sun gets out real hot, and I haven't been able to go to a place that I can really continue to conduct. And so I would like to say like and subscribe if you like the videos. And if there are any affirmations that you have that you can share with me that are your favorites, I would definitely appreciate if you would put in the comments. There may be a slight sound in the background because I'm near this air blower on top of this building, but don't worry about it. That's not going to deter us from where we need to be. I wanted to dedicate this video, of course, to my mom, which is my jewel and my crown. But I do not want to neglect my earthly father in terms of what he means to me and what he's all about. And it's very important to me that when I convey through these videos, that people know not only who I am, not so much in terms of ego, but in terms of what's what continually is making me, what I came from, and how I'm able to do what it is I'm doing. This is extremely important because you may be able to, for those who can understand, I'm like a catalyst to help you find your path in terms of what you're supposed to be doing, in terms of like your totem. Like with the Native Americans, like it's the Indian, it's the bear, it's the wolf, it's the otter, it's the eagle, it's the deer. It could be the snake. Okay, so you see, we moving at a level where we're able to use any and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like real quick before I get to my dad, I was noticing that the U.S. Army, the military, they're supposed to be coming out with these IR technology devices, and the output is supposed to be like, it's supposed to cost like 21 billion, right? But check this out, right? That don't mean nothing. I don't care what they see. Here's the whole thing about ego acting in man is you can't outthink God. You see what I'm saying? And that's the program I'm with. Just like later on in my videos, I want to explain how I became a master mason and what's the first step. I'm gonna give it to you straight up, and then I'm gonna give it to you in a way why it's important for men or women. If you're a woman, it's the Eastern Star aspect. If you're a male, it's the master mason. And then even when you're a female, this thing is so deep in duality that you can become as a female, because that's how I'm giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no exclusion based on your gender. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you truly understand that gender is energy. It's not necessarily that as a woman you have a chest or you got a big butt or whatever. At the end of the day, that's like, okay, so like, okay, like how's that going to pay my bills? You know what I'm saying? Like how's that going to send me to college? How's that going to help me find out who God is? That's just like if you're a male and your position is, oh, if I go get this girl, if I go do this, if I do that and come up. No, it ain't about that either, because you got to be a benefit to wherever that you're going. But you first must be a benefit to God and then be a benefit to yourself. First seek the kingdom of heaven and or God, and it just opens up. You know what I'm saying? And a large part of that is faith. So we know the opposite of faith is fear. And then from fear we start getting into the aspects and the degrees of hate. You know what I'm saying? So um getting back to my dad very quickly, my father was in the Vietnam War. He went two tours. A tour is when you go back to war, etc. I remember when Muhammad Ali was going through his situation in terms of his belts. And the reason why I'm slowing down is because people are slowing down. They looking over here, whatever. I'm like, yo, like, I'm not into you. Like, like, I'm not bothering you. You feel me? So let me continue with what I'm saying. You know, people be driving, they be going extra slow. Come on, yo. Come on. Mm-mm. Anyway, let me get back to my demonstration. Um, so Muhammad Ali's position was, why do you want me to go to war when the people that you sending me to go to war against, they not calling me nigga? They're not calling me out my name when I can't even get respect in my own country. Now, people may think it's not relevant, but it's relevant in the George Floyd case. Okay, allegedly they're supposed to be paying the family 27 million, but see what a lot of people don't know, because I've been in a situation like that. The jury can award you a certain amount, and what they don't publicize is that they don't give the family what they say they're giving them. They try to come back and appeal and all this other bull crap. Because I've been through it. I mean, like I'm like I've been bitten by the snake and I had to suck the venom out. So I know about the court system. Like I'm a prosecutor, I'm the judge, I'm the jury. Like, believe me when I tell you that. Because later on, when y'all really do the research on me, you're gonna really find out what I'm built like. That's the reason why if you ain't trying to walk this or be this, turn the video off. So my point is this. Based on the George Floyd case, I will not be surprised if they find the officer not guilty. Here's the reason why. There's a guy named Neely Fuller. I'm going to talk about him. He's a 80-year-old, like he's in his 80s. In fact, I talked to him on the phone only for a couple seconds. I thought I was talking to Michael Jackson, James Brown, and maybe Elvis Presley at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like the gentleman humbled me that his phone number was real, and I was able to call him. And what he wrote he wrote a book called The Code Index, and I mastered it. And basically what it says is, if you don't understand things from a position of white supremacy from 9 different areas based on literature, law, education, banking, housing, even religion, the whole 9, you won't really know what time it is. And they attempt to keep us confused, but here's what's going on. God don't allow his children to have any confusion. Any confusion. Okay? So getting back to my dad real quick, other than giving a background on Muhammad Ali, is my father did 2 tours in Vietnam. And is it possible that my father killed 30 people or more? Yeah. Was he a hitman for the U.S. government as being in the cavalry aspect? Absolutely. My position when my father was in the war was, when I used to think about him when I was a little boy, because I was too young to go to war with him, and I had not reached that age yet. But in my mind, my position was, if my father died in the rice paddies, I wanted to die with him. Because my father to me was God, straight up. I would normally give an example, but people may take it out of a context in terms of what my father represented to me, my earthly father. So I will say that my father used to be something called a point man. And a point man is an individual who makes contact with the enemy first. I think it's like a quarter mile ahead, something like that, where the platoon behind you, they can't even see you. So my father was on another level. Like, one of his names was like Rambo. So anybody that watched the movies Rambo, and my father was only maybe like, I mean, he used to say he was 5'7", but I don't think he was 5'7". I think he was like 5'6 3/4", but he was like he was 6'7", straight up. So how that relates to me is, that's how I see myself coming out to Tucson, checking things out, seeing what's going on. Like Marco Polo, I'm the point man. I do things by myself. I've learned not to depend on others to get approval, to get, is this okay? Am I doing it right? The only person I got to run what I'm doing by is God. And there's a way how I know it's God. And I'm going to tell you how I know when God is like talking to me, or his presence is like a parent, is that my eyes turn into like water hydrants. You know what I'm saying? Like tears start rolling out my eyes. You know what I mean? I can feel this like presence, then I know it's good. I know it's positive. So my whole situation is getting back to my dad was my dad was an incredible individual. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of times with the majority of black men, we have been taught to discount the power of our earthly fathers. You know what I mean? Whether they, whether they, you know, whatever that a father did that most people say, oh, your dad, he was this, he was that. Your dad ain't there, and this, that, or whatever. Whatever happened. You know, he was in prison, he was in jail. He's this, he that, right? Okay. A lot of people fail to understand that it takes a lot to be a dad when you get a group of a particular people that deliberately choose to kill internally the father of children. Because everybody knows without a dad, and see the whole thing that the so-called powers that be, and that's why they protect their sons and daughters, is that they know the difference between a female is that it takes a man to make a man. And I ain't talking about how good you can fight and how many women you got and how much liquor you can drink. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. And this is long overdue. And let me also tell you this real quick before I get back to my dad. It may seem like I'm on a rant, but I'm getting that flow. So when I get that flow, I got to go where I go. Now all I'm saying is travel with me. When people ask me, bro, like, why are you even doing this? Like, why are you even like talking about this? Like, what are you doing? Right? Okay, boom. It says, even one who seeks and will create miracles must go through an apprenticeship. And my apprenticeship been forever. Yeah, forever. Smashed, dashed, kicked in the balls, the nuts, the ear, all that. Put down, put yourself down, all that. Right? And then it's really deep when you don't think that you're capable of being a leader. Because really, the best leaders are those who don't want to lead, but they're capable. And that's what I found out about me. But I also found out in order for me to lead, I got to know how to lead myself. I got to be an example of like, yo, look, it don't matter if you get with it or not. I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't crazy and I ain't stupid. Far from it. You know, I had a call with my mom yesterday, right? And it was so pleasant. Like after I got off the phone with my mom, I said, yes. How long it took me, how long something takes to cure, and it's finally happening. I'm like pumped because my mother's happiness is everything to me. Everything. So getting back before I get to my dad was this. The way that I stay focused as I think about them 4 little black girls that was blown up in that church. So that way, if anybody like step to me, I don't care what your alphabet is. I know how to be quiet. I know, look, I'm a note. Look, this power that God has given me, I will know that you running up on me like 20 miles away, 100 miles away. I'll know when you're researching the files. The science is on another level, and it don't take a lot of us. This thing gonna get so deep that one black man will represent 1 million. One. And look, no, I used to say I can't wait. I can wait because I know it's going to happen. Like, this thing is so deep that like the signs go like this. If you can remain in the now, not only can you go in reverse and heal the past, but you're already where you need to be right now. I'm like, whoa, that's deep. That's deep. And this is how I know I'm on point. The only person that need to believe this is me. You ain't got to agree with me. My source is invisible, yet when I look around, it's everywhere. It's the wind blowing through this flag that I'm looking at right now. That's God, the power. These palm trees, the clouds up in the air, the noise is coming from this joint on top of this roof. That's God, because God can stop it in a second if he so choose. But you know, our God got a lot of humor and he like to laugh. Oh, yes. You ever been fighting somebody and you start laughing at them? It may make them even madder. This thing is like, man, it's on another level. But getting back to my dad, if if I were to compare my mom and my dad, my mom is the jewel in my crown, like a gigantic ruby, right where my pineal gland is, where my third eye is located at, where the kundalini come through, where the cobra at. I know. For those of y'all don't get it, it's on you. Got to do your own research. My father would be the mirror of pure light. Because I remember one day when I was a little boy, my mom and dad had got into a tiff. And I remember when the police came to our house and they forced my dad to leave. And it was like the light was fading. Like when they forced him out the door and he was walking and he was going to his car, and I wanted to be there with him so much. It was like the light was like faded. I was like, oh man. I was like, Dad, don't go. So I know I'm not supposed to be tearing up or nothing. I know that I'm not, but I got to give it to you the way that it's on me. See my videos is real. Ain't nothing fake about this. Hey, look, this ain't about being an internet star. This ain't about whether you agree with me or not. And so my dad now is moving in me, and I feel him every day. Military boots, shine, drill sergeant. Like I'm straight military. I remember when he used to have these books, artillery books, machine gun books, the whole nine. When I was a little boy, I used to read them. I didn't know I was reading. Guess what? That's downloaded. Bam, bam. But see, I'm at the level that I don't even need bullets. I don't even need a gun. See, I'm learning the kind of science that I can leave my body, jump in your eye, and give you a brain aneurysm. Stop playing. That's why this George Floyd case is a farce. But guess what? It's over. God is tired. God is tired. So yeah, this video is dedicated to my mom and my dad. My dad is the light and my mom is the jewel in my crown. So another thing that I wanted to get people to check out is this recommended reading. The book is called The Man Who Knew by Ralph Waldo Trine, spelled Trine. For my Bible thumpers, my concordance people, check this out. Yeah, it's called an alignment. Then see how you argue. Let me say it again. The Man Who Knew by Ralph Waldo Trine. Check out who he's talking about. The Man Who Knew. That's the recommended reading for today. So what I wanted to do was give the information that I got. So I'm going to hit y'all with this. Self is not body. Your body is not you. If it were and your leg was amputated, part of your consciousness would be lost with your leg. Neither are you simply brain. If you were only brain, then the rest of the physical body could be stripped away and the brain would continue to live. Actually, the brain itself does not think. Some invisible thinker merely uses the brain as a central reception station for sensory perception. Something is dwelling in your body, peering through the windows of your eyes, listening at the portals of your ears, using your brain to receive impressions, invisible, hidden, gowned with your particular form, but an instant in the eternity of its being, it uses your body as an idea, then discards it and departs to whence it came. This is immortal self. People want to know, where will they go when they die? And the answer to that question is that they will go everywhere. For they don't truly go, they simply expand. Self, freed from the limitations of body, becomes universal self. The consciousness of all time, all space, all form. Since self is free of all limitations and multiplicity, it leaves behind personality and ego and conscious memory, which becomes immersed like the tiniest drop of water in an infinite sea. Ego goes, limitation goes, the inconceivably small I is replaced by the great I of infinity. A very intelligent but very egotistical man once said, "I cannot stand any conception of the afterlife in which I cease to be me and become somebody else, even if that somebody is much greater." And there are plenty of people whose idea of the hereafter hinges on there being plenty of social life, good food, and good fellowship, lots of money and pleasure, and no pain. When it is pointed out to them that they will need to take their bodies along in order to enjoy these things, they nod with equanimity, apparently convinced that an exact replica of the one they leave behind will be furnished them in the hereafter. Behind every pair of eyes, it is always ego that blocks immortality from view. For ego cannot see beyond its own finiteness. It needs a body, and it projects a hereafter that revolves around bodies and personalities. Body and personality and conscious mind throughout life. How shall they exist then in the hereafter of the ego? Will they be those which we possessed in the prime of life? Then what of the infant taken in death? What of the cripple and the chronically diseased? And how shall our characters and minds be in such a hereafter? As they were at the peak of life? But what of the feeble-minded and insane, and the murderer and the robber and the deprived? A strange hereafter of confusion and injustice, with individuals longing for better bodies. Such is the hereafter of the ego. But we needn't worry about it. It doesn't exist. Beyond the advent of death, body does not persist, nor personality, nor ego, nor conscious mind. For all these are the illusory trappings of finiteness, for which we have no further use when we return to the infinite. The great self enters into each body and becomes different according to what it enters, but upon leaving again becomes absolute infinity and unity. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. And so does the immortal self, eternally one, the true being in every man, the observer who looks out upon the world through every pair of eyes. So I'm going to close on that until this evening. And this evening, I'm going to talk about another subject, but it still relates to everything regarding immortality. So again, like and subscribe. My affirmations are: believe, accept, know, relax. Believe, accept, no, 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 relax. What are you believing in? You are believing in God, your Father. What you are believing in is that God is in charge. You got to find out for yourself. Just do the work. Just have the faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need. And again, this video is dedicated to my my mother, Mother Mary English, the jewel in my crown. And also I will dedicate the mirror of that light, that bright light that you can hardly see, which is my dad. Very, very great, 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 great soul. Until you hear from me again, have a wonderful and blessed and beautiful day.